shall we play with some K390? So K390 is one of my favorite steels. It's a tall steel, it's not stainless, I don't even really know why it's probably my favorite steel. Magna Cut is most likely categorically better. I think it's just an edge retention king, which I guess is what I'm sort of all about, I suppose. It's relatively, it's not a terrible sharpen. Compared to Maximet, I find it's an easier sharpen. A bit more forgiving. If my stones are starting to wear out a bit, I can still get good results on my KME, whereas the Maximet, I found in the past that it's a real tester of like, that's when I know my stones need replacing, when the Maximet feels bad. But as I said, it's not hugely, there's nothing really compared to those other sort of steels, Maximet 10V, 15V, ZDP 189. It's not really going to be greatly distinguished from them. It's just really a personal taste type thing. Anyway, enough talking. Let's do a bit of showing for a start. So I put 2 identical edges. So these are all Sekisei Spydercos in K390. So I put 2 identical edges on the Police 4 and on the Stretch 2 with the drop point. So two of the same edges, 1000 grit and then a strop polish. So pretty mirror-y finishes there, 17 degrees per side. And then the Andela, I stopped at 400. So this is a cloudier, more, you would assume perhaps rougher or toothier edge. Just interested to see how K390 does with that. So it's definitely less reflectivity, definitely more of a sort of grainy finish there. And in terms of use, well, let's have a feel. Doesn't really feel that different, to be honest. The result might be just in how long it lasts. On the old rope cut test, which is exactly what we're about to do. 3 K390 knives in one sitting. What is wrong with me, Bricky?
Well, you are a product of your school system, and the testing they had to detect atypical brains at the time. See, back in the early 90s they knew there wasn't something quite right, but the first way they used to try and treat the odd kids was to make them take up a sport. Try as they might, they couldn't even get you to throw and catch. The usual methods did not work. So they put you in the early birds. Yes, Pete was in a remedial class for kids that aren't very coordinated. In current times I have no doubt the kindergarten to primary benchmarks would strongly suggest you have high-functioning autism.
It's got me there. Alrighty, ouch. So that was interesting. So we've got, for the police 4 cut 925 times through the rope before it then hiccuped and stalled on a page. This is my oldest of these knives, easily the oldest, probably about 3 or 4 years old. The relatively new Spyderco Stretch and Andela did a little bit differently. So the Stretch cut 1,000 times even. I need some water. The Stretch cut 1,000 times even and definitely just felt a bit more, it might have just been the edge slightly different. Definitely rough ballpark. These are both 1,000. With a human doing this, 75 between in these really high numbers. Yeah, probably about the same. And then the lower grit, 400 grit finish with the strop, that cut 1125, so 125 times more than this guy here. So about a 10% improvement, you know, factoring in that all this is pretty, you know, I mean, look at this place. I talk to a brick, for fuck's sake, you know, so it's not, you know. But yeah, I would say that there's a meaningful increase in having a slightly rougher edge with K390, which kind of makes sense given the way that the elements are working at play in the steel. It's a more of a high carbide type steel, which, you know, the theory is that if you have a rougher finish, the carbides are a little bit more exposed on the edge. And I don't know. All I do is cut the rope. Let all the brains talk about the whys and the hows. But yeah, it certainly seems for me there is a slight increase, but still a tangible one for having a slightly rougher edge on the K390. You can still have a really nice edge. It just won't be a super mirror. It's just kind of nice, cloudy, but very neat looking edge even still. So there you go. But that's not to say I'm just going to keep doing my mirrors because I like how they look. And they really do cut nice and clean and feel a little bit less draggy, but it's all just faff, isn't it really? We're all just having a good time. So yeah, K390, what a great steel. Definitely, yeah, enjoy this stuff a whole lot. Spyderco seems to do it really, really well. I think it's in the mid-60s in terms of the hardness. But yeah, you just got to see, as you can see from my blades, this was purposefully patinaed with white vinegar. Just left it in vinegar overnight, made it go black. That's cool. And this one's just got its natural grimy yardwork patina on it, a bit of rust, a bit of crap all over it. And this one's sort of just getting a more of a cupboard sat, slight humidity patina. Just there, that's the Andela. There we go, K390. It's a steel that I hurts to give a thumbs up. That's my main gesture. Well, use that one instead. See you guys.